profession. That's the context I use it. Not to say I'm not a respected individual, but I'm just trying to
I think it's
distinguish.
You were enjoying the music so much because the weather is cold. You want to, you and DJ Phil want to spend the whole morning playing.
People need fire and ginger.
No, that was Embrace.
Empraise.
Sounds like Empress. Empraise.
Oh, opinion. How is praise sounding like Empress?
Empress. Empress.
No, this one.
This one too. You want to litigate it?
I'm not litigating. I'm saying this one. As for this, it's counsel.
Respected colleague.
Counsel, respectfully.
Respected
I
colleague.
do not see the counsel. I do not see the correlation in any way or form.
You didn't do sounds and phonetics and
Empress. Empress.
Yeah.
We'll take it. We'll take it. We'll take it.
How are you?
Oh, by God's grace.
Did you have light last night?
Yes, I did.
Throughout the day? Well, you were here throughout the day.
It was off during the morning hours up until the afternoon. And so, yeah, but into the evening and all that, I've had power throughout.
Okay. Maybe a few areas probably went off. I'm just trying to believe that what the sector minister told us, putting the cause and the blame squarely on the fire outbreak, is what it is. With restoration, we'll be able to get back on and enjoy uninterrupted power supply. That is why I'm asking. Maybe our listeners can share with us. Go to YouTube, comment under our post your location, whether your lights are out this morning. Just let us know. Whether it's been restored, just let us know. It is the estimation that once restoration has been done to the portions of the substation that got burnt, then we'll be able to have uninterrupted power supply. So good morning to all of us.
Good morning. Once again, respected colleague with the legal fraternity.
Respected colleague.
That's the part I say, and then you are wanting to fool.
Oh, I mean,
you are wanting to fool more over.
Once you say respected colleague, it could only mean one thing.
It could only mean what?
We are colleagues in the legal fraternity.
I'm not in the legal fraternity.
And when I hold you to the standard, you run away, because I have done that before and I have gotten that reaction before. That's why I am surprised.
But I'm not a person within. I don't know why this is generating a conversation to start off.
You are a student of the law. So are we all.
How is someone a student of the law synonymous to being a respected
within
colleague?
the legal fraternity?
I shudder to come to terms with that fact.
At what point would you consider yourself a member of the legal fraternity?
When you are robing.
Oh.
Are you not robing today?
Once you take that step, find yourself in a law school.
No, so I mean there are a lot of people who are in it for.
You have identified yourself.
Elucidation of man and spirit.
It does not matter what elucidating you are elucidating. Once you take that step, you have taken it.
I do not appreciate.
You cannot be running away from.
You are coming
you
from.
cannot be running away from yokes that you have put upon yourself.
No, I haven't put any yoke upon myself.
You went for it.
I've decided to.
Did anybody put a gun to your head?
To buy textbooks. So I will read. And
to sit in the classroom.
And suddenly.
To acquire knowledge.
Oh no, relax. And suddenly, that becomes a basis for you to want to say that I cannot stand in any courts in this country by mere reason of the fact that I read textbooks, because I have an interest in appreciating.
Anybody can stand in.
No, you understand very well what I mean.
I'm not in your mind.
You don't understand too.
I don't understand.
You don't understand too.
Am I in your mind? Any citizen, any foreigner even, can stand in any court of our land
use a semantics
and ask for justice. DJ Phil can go to court right now and tell the court that his best friend, Ike, has refused to perform a certain obligation that is owed him, DJ Phil. And the court will listen to him.
That he will procure the services of a
he
particular
can
individual.
As well represent himself.
I know that.
Any citizen can represent himself or herself.
But he can
in
as
court.
Well, which is more often than not.
He can, but he must not.
Yes, that's fair. He must not. But in the truest sense of convention and practice, he will procure the services of a lawyer,
yes,
which you will want.
If he wants somebody who has an eye for the law, understands the law and its practice, to watch out for him, that is it. He calls upon me and says, "Oh, my brother."
Absolutely, it will bring us to the point as to why you best will be able to stand before the court and advocate for him, which is the point I've been making, and yet you are seeking to go round and round about.
You can stand in court and advocate for him.
I do not think so, and I do not believe so, because I'm not clothed with the powers or the authority
Certainly
to do that.
You are not.
Not in capacity for DJ Phil, if the hypothesis you laid there are anything to go by. So I will respectfully crave your indulgence to bring this to an end, so that we can proceed on the tangent.
Litigating this simple
we'll
matter.
Proceed on the tangent.
My respected colleague in the
media, is in the media? If in the media, yes, I am in the
media. My respected colleague in the legal fraternity.
I'm seated here every day in the media.
You know, if you find yourself in short of the law and you appear before a judge, and the judge gets to find out that you are a student of the law, the standards to which that judge will hold you will be different from the standards to which the same judge would hold DJ Phil to.
It is
in
understandable.
The same circumstances.
It is understandable.
Why is that understandable?
Because,
and this simple address is not understandable.
Because in the appreciation of the judge who will be seated there, I mean, you begin to pick up a few bits and pieces in terms of how things proceed.
Yes.
And so that is well and fair.
In fact, we are beginning to advocate that students of the law should be admitted to a certain lower level of the bar. And I want to believe I'm not alone in this advocacy. So that right from the beginning, the orientation is there, the understanding of the practice. You begin to grasp the understanding of the practice, even from that level, right up to the point of your call. So that the moment you are called to the bar or enrolled into the registry of lawyers, you will not now begin saying that I am a lawyer and the other person is not a lawyer, so respect me more, or I understand better and the other person does not understand. So the point I'm making is that even as a student of the law, you are held to higher standards than mere mortals like DJ Phil. Can we now move on?
I don't think there's ever been a point of litigation on this front, but we can proceed.
I have the inside newspaper. Stop burning hemp revenue. Rastafari Council urges government, demands cannabis policy shift. I thought there was a Supreme Court decision on this matter. Do you recall?
Rastafari.
No, I thought there was a Supreme Court pronouncement on whether or not we can grow hemp.
Medicinal purpose.
Yes.
So for medicinal purpose, and so that is controlled in terms of what's this chemical? The chemical concentration within the plant, right?
So I'm just wondering why the Rastafari Council is urging government to.
So what is seized? The strain. Oh, someone should help me. I mean, a message should just come through as to.
So the decision was that we can
let me look at the story.
I was trying to glean through the story to see what exactly their position is. But the decision, as I recall it, was or is that people are allowed to grow Indian hemp only for medicinal purposes. And once you are growing it for medicinal purposes, the specifications, the variants that you are supposed to grow are defined, and that will be done in collaboration with, I think, the Food and Drugs Authority. So that is the decision. My only confusion is that the why am I struggling with this word?
The Rastafari
Council is asking government to policy shift.
You have to switch for me. I think we have it. But yes, the story does indeed have that detail. Just that they don't explain what the THC means. And so the THC is the concentration.
Yes.
By what percentage?
Yes.
And so the medicinal cannabis will have 0.4 under 0.3%. Right? And then adult use cannabis will have about 5% in terms of the THC. That's I've just forgotten like the THC, the full meaning so that
Well, that's a technical expression.
Yes, that's a technical. That's what determines.
You only need to know that if you want to grow hemp. So they've called on government, especially. Let me just run through the story. I want to understand what exactly their position is. They've called on government, especially the law enforcement agencies and other regulatory entities, to immediately put an end to the burning of cannabis, saying billions of national revenue is being lost. Okay. So when it is seized, what we see is that the state moves to burn it. Okay. So Ras Aswat in Krabia, otherwise known as Mervyn Palmer, 71-year-old Jamaican-born Ghanaian citizen and co-founder of Empire Agric Ghana Limited, made the appeal in an interview with the Inside newspaper ahead of a scheduled meeting with some of the law enforcement agencies. You can check page 3 of the Inside newspaper for the rest of the story. Enzima chiefs demand registration of Adamus mining license, says job losses will be threat to national security. Lands minister is pictured here. I think that's his area, right? Amakofi Boa, that's his area.
Yes, Enzima.
Yes, he's an Enzima.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So his people have come to him. Italy, FIFA dismissed U.S. proposal to replace Iran at World Cup.
But you can't replace Iran.
This is now getting out of hand.
Iran was not the aggressor in any of this. And
this is now getting out of hand. Italy and FIFA have dismissed the proposal to replace Iran at the World Cup. Land Minister Naimos tightened grip on Galamsey kingpins. Republic versus Edubuahen, key admissions from AG's witness Edith Edumwa reportedly contradicts AG's case. So that story is on pages 6 and 7 of Inside newspaper. Dr. Xavier Sosu named among 10 prominent Ghanaian lawyers dominating the legal space. Government decision on Adamus mining lease apt. Isaac Tandor is the one quoted here. Those are the headlines on the front page of the Inside newspaper. Let me take you to the Finder newspaper, the new Finder newspaper. Bond market activity turnover drops to 559 million Ghana cedis, 559 million Ghana cedis. Lack of reliable data a risk factor to businesses, and Ghana rejects 109 million US health aid. Ghana rejects $109 million U.S. health aid. Okay, I'd like to get into that. That's on page 7 of the New Finder newspaper. Fuel prices to go down from May 1. That's on Friday. Some good news. Bank of Africa to scale up SME support. But let me take you to page 7 of the Finder newspaper. Just a line or two. Ghana has declined a proposed $109 million health assistance agreement with the United States, citing concerns over data governance, sovereignty, and the structure of the deal.
So that's 300. It's in excess of 300 million. I think it was going to be broken into chunks. That's why we're having the 109 million cedis. But a lot of the international media outlets which have reported on the story, you need some water, which have reported on the story as well, make us understand why it is the case in terms of everything that's been happening. But proceed.
Yes. So it says the important factors too, the reasons. The concerns are data governance. That would suggest that we won't be in control of our data, or there would be some intrusion. Sovereignty and the structure of the deal, in a move that signals a more cautious policy stance towards international partnerships involving sensitive digital infrastructure. According to sources familiar with the negotiations, discussions between Ghanaian authorities and U.S. officials began in November and initially progressed under what was described as normal dealings. However, the tone reportedly shifted as the process advanced, with increased pressure emerging towards the final stages ahead of an April 24 deadline set by Washington. The agreement, which was expected to run over 5 years, formed part of the U.S. government's America First global health strategy. It aimed to support Ghana's health system through investments in disease surveillance, digital health platforms, and broader public health coordination. At the core of Ghana's decision were concerns about how sensitive national health data would be managed. Officials raised questions about the storage, access, and sharing of public health information, particularly regarding external involvement in Ghana's digital health infrastructure. Okay. I mean, from the face of the story, I think it is an applause is in the
right direction.
Right direction. Whichever team is leading these negotiations, these are the reasons we've been given for the standoff, and I think I will, because we've always raised these concerns, how our data end up with third parties that we never signed up with or for, and it's a concern we have with our telcos locally. You are there, by the time you realize somebody has sent you some message, advertising something, and then they will tell you, if you don't want this, type stop to this short code. I mean, I have not solicited your advertisement, so I cannot be the one now taking steps to stop it. So it's one of the problems we've had, especially within the telco space. So if a deal of this nature is going to compromise our data governance, then I think that we need to commend the team leading this. We are not saying we don't need the intervention. Indeed, the details of the intervention itself, I'm not sure is enough in the story. But the point is that, is the intervention enough to compromise on the things that we want to protect and guard against intrusion? Let me take you now to the Daily Analyst without fear or favor.
I would have wanted, but let's finish. I'm sure we'll return because that story as well is on the front page of the Daily Graphic, and so we'll return.
We'll definitely come back to it.
Yeah.
So NPRA grows pension assets to 108.88 billion Ghana cedis, and a major reform agenda comes with picture of the CEO, Chris Boedi Mensah. He leads the National Pensions Regulatory Authority. Dumso not linked to Akosombo substation fire. Minority fires government. Have the picture of Collins Adomako Mensah, Deputy Ranking Member on the Energy Committee. So anytime you hear ranking or deputy ranking, it means that those are the voices that are leading the charge of the minority on the particular parliamentary committee. So their voices are weighty. So he says that, and I listened to portions of that presser on our morning news. He says there's more to this. It's not about any fire outbreak. We simply owe the IPPs. We have not paid a certain outstanding amount. He gives a specific figure.
700 million.
Is 700 million
is a claim. Yeah, $1 million.
Okay. Mahama cuts short for new airport concourse project to link Terminal 2 and 3. Key admissions from AG's witness contradicts AG's case in Republic versus Edubuahin case. I think I read that headline from the Inside newspaper. They have that headline as well. That if you are wondering why this is a story, if your key witness is contradicting the theory of your case, then it means that
the state's key witness.
Yes, that is what the reports are saying. Key admissions from AG's witness contradicts AG's case.
Perhaps we'll get details.
We'll get into the
details. Let's
of
finish
it.
the
Ghana High Commission in South Africa issues safety advisory ahead of planned protest. This is not cooling down. Health Ministry pays 2-month arrears to newly recruited nurses. That's also on the front page of the Daily Analyst newspaper. On the back page of Daily Analyst, MOFA announces 2026 closed fishing season, warns of strict enforcement. Ghana calls for concrete steps to tackle AI-fueled misinformation. Volta rice farmers cry out over post-harvest losses, seek government help. Stories captured on the back page of the Daily Analyst newspaper. Finally, I take you to Ghana's favorite newspaper, the Daily Guide newspaper, and it screams on the front page, Dumso is back. Don't blame Akosombo fire minority, with a picture of Collins Adomako Mensah. NPRA's digital system reshapes pension sector. Rachel murder hits Sohiwe. 2 robbers killed in police gun battle. Ofori Atta U.S. migration case set for June 15. Those are and then Afoko's office clarifies NPP Council of Elders meeting. So those are the headlines on the front page of the Daily Guide newspaper, Marina.
Daily Graphic, big banner story. Ghana rejects U.S. health aid deal, cites sensitive data sharing concerns. Story by Pakuma Emmanuel Damali. He writes for the Daily Graphic on this one. I'll return to it because it's something that has quite piqued the interest amongst a number of individuals. Gold Board records 4.45 billion cedi surplus for 2025. 57.2 million unearned salaries recovered. Absa Group CEO ends Ghana tour. So the story is on the front page. On the back page, CASEC students protest against unapproved WASI fee and child safety organization to prioritize prevention over treatment launched. The Ghanaian Times, next on my bill, restoring degraded forests. Ghana requires 19 billion cedis. FPDF chairman. FPDF. What is FPDF? Let me just try and get that for us to contextualize properly what it is that we're hearing. And so FPDF is the Forest Plantation Development Fund. Forest Plantation Development Fund. Chris Bwedi Mensa, driving excellence at NPRA. Gold Board generates unprecedented overall surplus of 4.46. The Daily Graphic said 4.45. So maybe they are doing rounding up. 4.46 billion in 2025. One arrested over murder of Indian national in Kumasi. IGP deploys special team. Catholic bishops defend church stance on Galamsey. Back page, Prestia resident rally support for Heath Goldfields. FAO, the Food and Agriculture Organization, distributes 150,000 vaccinated poultry birds to farmers. Custodian, from Dumso to water shortage, Ghanaians cry in pain under Mohammed's NDC government. That's a big banner story there. Anodompred dares Bono minister over cocoa smuggling claim. Adamu's resources may face criminal charges. Minerals Commission hint. Upon Kroma promotes education in Ofuasia Yerebi. Government owes power sector over 700 million. Minority exposes actual cost of Dumso. For this one, I will need a bit more in terms of details. But you see, the problem is lack of information. And I've seen even from the Ministry of Energy itself, they've been challenging generation data from some other quarters, media houses, which have been putting two and two together. And it comes back to the point that if you're transparent, everybody will know what is happening. We are being told we are current with IPPs in terms of payments. There are legacy debts which have existed for quite some time. I know because I've reported on matters of the energy for a very long time, at least. And legacy debt is one that has remained. Sometimes it's quoted in the regions of 2 billion. At some point you hear 1.4 billion, all in US dollars. While the Akufo-Addo government was on, the quotations was in the excess of 1.4 billion US dollars. Now, the minority says it is a 700 million energy debt. Is this amount legacy debt? If it is, does it suggest there's been a reduction from the over 1 billion which was reported during the tenure of the NPP and has reduced to 700 million? Is a question that needs answering. And it's a question that can be answered if data is made available to everybody in terms of how much is owed. But we'll proceed. The news center, mobile money limited to 10 developers' ideas into fintech solutions. Minority blames Dumso on $700 million energy debt. BOG's costly rescue necessary. AGI, GUTA, GNCCI economists defend stabilization measures. 9 schools in 9 years upon Kroma's record. And Dumso disrupts water supply in Accra East and Tema. Last paper I have, the Publisher newspaper. Dumso crisis, Akosomo fire not responsible, minority. Otunfo hails Nick Danso. Wager MP gifts BC candidates made in wager sandals. Edubwa trial, multiple admissions by witness contradict state's claim. And NPRA unveils ambitious pension digital shift. Those are the details on the front pages for us this morning. I'm going to take us to the Daily Graphic in relation to that health sharing story and the reaction as well, which has come forth from different quarters. And so we've not had the government directly speak to this. It's all been sources since the start, and it's the sources that's been providing details. Let me read to you again the details of the story, this time only from the Daily Graphic, and the story is by Pakume Emmanuel Damali, and it says Ghana's authorities have rejected a bilateral health deal with the United States, citing unhealthy concerns about terms requiring the sharing of sensitive health data with the American counterpart. A highly placed source with knowledge about the subjects informed or confirmed to the Daily Graphic that the West African country declined the deal on the basis of the terms. The source said the country could not provide health data about the citizenry or could not share health data about the citizenry with a foreign nation. Ghana, the source stressed, had since communicated its decision to the United States government, and the U.S. announced a new America First global health strategy in September last year, just over 8 months since the return to office of President Donald Trump. The new strategy calls for poorer nations to play a bigger role in fighting HIV, AIDS, malaria, tuberculosis, and polio in their countries, and eventually transition from aid to self-reliance. The United States Agency for International Development was eventually dismantled earlier this year. And so, under the guise of reducing aid to self-financing, we're being asked to share sensitive health data. And what I understand as well is that, look, they were seeking to have, as part of all of this, go past parliamentary ratification, which would have come costly for the government as well, in terms of what the source has been saying.
When you say go past, what does that mean?
So it would just be, to sidestep to an extent, which would have been a bit interesting.
That's a constitutional matter. We cannot get into international agreements without that. Which paper was it? I'm trying to get back to that so that we'll add something from the other paper to the excerpts that you have just read. I can't seem to find the paper.
It was one of the papers. You found it.
So yes, the New Finder newspaper, and that story is on page 7. So, okay. Government sources indicated that safeguarding national data integrity and maintaining sovereign control over health information systems were key considerations. Authorities were also focused on ensuring that any agreement aligned fully with domestic data protection laws and regulatory standards. Another point of uncertainty related to the financial structure of the deal. It remained unclear how much Ghana would be required to contribute under the proposed co-financing model, which forms part of the U.S. strategy linking aid to recipient country investment. Ultimately, Ghana chose not to endorse the framework, determining that the terms did not sufficiently address its concerns. The decision has reportedly been communicated to the U.S. administration. Now, despite the rejection, existing health cooperation between Ghana and the U.S. remains intact. Okay. I mean, for me, without any more information on this, I can only applaud the team that is leading my interests to say that this is a good move. I mean, it's a negotiation. A lot of the times, there are deals that we enter into later when the details come up. We all keep asking what happened. What did we miss? How did we get something wrong? Why didn't this happen? So I think it is critical that at this stage these concerns were raised and the government insisted on. And I want to believe that there will be no compromise, especially where it would hurt our interests, whether legally or
that's been
financially?
communicated, and so I do not possibly foresee a return, because this has been taken to other African countries. Zimbabwe rejected outrightly. Kenya agreed, but the matter was taken to the Supreme Court there, and the court has ruled that no, there can't be an agreement like that which allows for the sharing of sensitive health data. And so we are not alone on that front. We are not alone on that front in terms of saying that, look, this flies in the face of data protection laws which have been passed or enacted in the country, and so we should not be having that happen. So in the right direction in terms of putting citizenry first. Yes, we need the funding to support health amongst other things, but it will bring us back to the point that we have enough, and we should be able to adequately plug revenue loopholes, reduce corruption, so that these funds can be channeled to other critical sectors. So we do not return to very difficult instances like the one that we're rejecting as we speak. Other matters, I think I want to get the Edubwahi contradictory claims, because I spoke to the deputy AG about a week or two ago, and he directly spoke to some of these matters in relation to what has been reported in the media as contradictions. And so
but that would have been before this. Your interview with him was a week ago.
There's a reason I say that, because he makes the point that there appears to be, on the side of the AG, they are of the opinion that a lot of the commentary which has characterized the case is deliberate misinformation to create a certain perception in the minds of the people, so that should the verdict come in and do not go in their favor, they'll say, oh, but this was reported, so how come the case has gone against the person? For instance, when the account officer said they were not aware monies had been taken out, that was reported widely, and when I spoke to the deputy AG, he made an argument, for instance, that why is that coming as a surprise to anybody? That is why investigations uncover things, because if it was known by the account officer, then that is not corruption, or that is not stealing, and doesn't fall within the remit of something which they should be putting the individual before court for. It was painstaking investigation that revealed that monies had been siphoned per the docket or the facts before the courts. And so when comments of such a nature are made, it should not be taken as though it is contradictory to the AG's case in court and others. That's why I say that for them, they believe that, look, all of this is coming off as someone trying to create the perception that, oh, they are losing the case, and so if they eventually win, then red flags all over. But let's get the details of what the story says.
I think we've always said that increasingly the law is becoming complex. Is not the word I'm looking for, but it will suffice. Especially in high-profile cases, you are not only fighting in the courtroom. There is also a media and a public perception battle to be fought. That is why a lot of the high-profile cases, you would find that they put up strong PR systems around the legal system that is running. And you would often find that they have people who speak to the media, try to explain the case from where they stand to the media as the case goes on. This has been long part of legal systems, not just in Ghana, internationally. High-profile cases always attract media attention. That is because they are high-profile. That is because there's high public interest in those cases. So, I mean, I don't doubt that if I were a lawyer on the side of the accused, I would want to let the people follow me. I want to carry them along with me, so that after every court session, I I'm able to put out something that tells the public what happened in court, and try to let the public see the case from my perspective. Yes, it is not the public that decides the case or determines the case, but there is something it does in the case, and everybody understands that. And so the AG would have to also begin to do that. I mean, in times past, we've seen that the AG had a whole spokesperson who was speaking to cases. You remember Spiky, my senior in the practice and colleague in the media. I mean, they were explaining or speaking to the media on all of these cases. If you feel that the lawyers on the other side are trying to twist the facts, misinform the public, you also have your team doing the media work and carrying the public along with you. So I have always said that, you see, there are components in every box, or to every circle, there are sections. So the AG has to also realize that the public is yearning for information in a lot of these cases. Whether it is Edu Buahin case, or it is Mustafa Hamid case, or it is Abdul Hanan's case, or it is Gifty Owaris, any case at all that, there's public interest, Oforiata. One of the problems that the special prosecutor is facing today is the mishandling of the PR on Ken Oforiata. It's a fact. So the AG has to realize this and reconsider if it is already considering, and if it is not considering, should consider its approach to the press on these matters, because you can't cry foul when somebody is trying to win the case in the court of public opinion. And in these high profile cases, it is what matters. Well, we know that some lawyers have a certain apprehension or misapprehension about the media. There are lawyers who will not speak to the media because they believe that the media will twist what is said. There are a lot of other media people who sit in the courtroom, even after hearing directly from the judge, lawyers in court and the judge in court, they still go out and misreport, not deliberately, but maybe some English was spoken that they didn't quite understand.
It's not English. They will use some Latin maxim, and then
and the person will also go and misreport. So yes, my senior is laughing at me as he's driving, because we've had this argument before. Look, you are not responsible for the training of the media, but you are responsible for the training of the media. I don't know whether I've made sense.
Yeah.
So I mean, we cannot continue taking the role of the media in these cases for granted. If you don't want to use the media, there are a lot of examples I can give you, but I can't say them on air. You see, and these are discussions that we have had before. You look at how Party A is approaching the media and treating the media in a certain case, as against the way Party B is handling the media and treating the media in another case. And you always see the difference. So it is important that you carry the media along with you. There's nothing wrong with engaging the media on the side on these matters, trying to let the media understand at least some of the highlights of the case, why a certain application was admitted, granted, or dismissed. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It does not offend any rule of court. There's nothing wrong with engaging the media on why a judge made a certain decision. And again, we have always said that the judge cannot speak for himself or herself. The judge cannot defend himself or herself or the decisions therefrom. And so it is important that whether it is the state in the form of the Attorney General or the lawyer on the other side in the form of the defense, it is important that they assume that role, not necessarily because they want to twist the facts, but because they want to inform the information that the media carries across to the public. And so I think that respectfully, the AG should stop crying foul.
No, if you read the details of that story, because there's a version of it in the publisher, it is still in relation to that account officer or the finance director's cross-examination.
And this is coming up today.
It came up back then.
Before.
It is back in the papers again.
And you see, there are
so
two
it's
papers.
deliberate.
There are three papers carrying the same story.
And I mean,
so, yes,
we sit here, we're journalists, and we can tell.
And we can tell what is happening.
Yeah, it's deliberate to create a certain narrative. And so that you're like you're saying, you're very right. The Attorney General will have to, on their own, you see, that will then become litigating the matters in the open.
No, that is why I took the time to explain. You are not litigating the matter in the public space or on social media or in the media space. That's not what you are doing. You are seeking to let people understand the complexity of the case in the court system. Marina, there are a lot of people who walk into the courtroom very confused. The mere setting of the court alone, the physical arrangement of the courtroom alone is intimidating. A lot of lawyers will tell you this. That is why, you see, we started off this morning by talking about people asking lawyers to represent them and all of that. One of the reasons people would often want a lawyer to represent them, because a lawyer understands the court system. The lawyer understands the court structure. The lawyer understands how to gauge the mood of the judge and the direction of the case. There are a lot of things nuances that the lawyer will see with a trained eye that you will not see. So if you walk in there to represent yourself, you may end up doing more harm to yourself than good, even though you may have a good case. You get it? Even at the Supreme Court, I have sat in the Supreme Court and seen people appearing before the law lords and telling them they are representing themselves, and the law lords advising them, well, it is well within your right to represent yourself, but looking at 1, 2, 3, you may want to engage a lawyer. It's not because a lawyer wants to chop your money, no, but because you have interests and rights that must be protected within the complexity of the system. You see, and that same complexity of the system confuses a lot of people, even court reporters. I have advocated for training for court reporters, not because they have not gone to school, not because.
But it's a specialized field.
Specialized field, and it does not matter your experience with court reporting. Every now and then there will be one thing that will take you aback or take you off, throw you off.
Commercial agreement or an international arbitration.
There are terms that will be sprung at you,
yeah,
that you will need to pause, step back and ask yourself, what does this mean? What does that mean? How do I approach this story? And that is the kind of training. And the AG should be a key stakeholder in these kinds of training, especially in cases that the AG is involved with. Well, which case is the AG not involved with? So it is not about litigating the matter in the media. No. I mean, that's why I also cited that, there are a breed of lawyers who believe that the media must day there somewhere, and the lawyers must also day there somewhere.
That one, they can't be lying to everybody.
Exactly. So, but it is in the interest of everybody, the accused, the defense, the public especially, for the reporter who is sitting in the courtroom to be able to report accurately. So imagine that a report, and I'm not saying, please, let me take my time here. I am not saying that the Inside newspaper, the Daily Analyst paper, and the other one, what's the third paper? I'm not saying they got the story wrong.
The Ghanaian publisher. The story is very right, but there's a certain narrative seeking to be created.
Yes, and if you check the headlines, it's the same. The headline is the same. See, Republic and Edubuahin, where is the other one? Key admissions from AG's witness. And they bring the name Edith Edumwa reportedly contradicts AG's case.
Check if there are reporters who wrote the stories as well.
This is the inside headline I just read. Now on the, where is the other one? The Daily Analyst, also on the front page, it also says Republic and Edubuahen also carries a column. Key admissions from AG's witness, they did not bring the name, contradicts AG's case. They did not bring allegedly or reportedly. They went straight. If you are a journalist, an editor, a newsroom manager, and you see these two headlines, you straight away know what is happening.
No, I want to see if there's a
name,
reporter.
Okay. So, and the inside newspaper dedicates 2 pages, pages 6 and 7 to this story. I don't see a name. So there's a big picture of the 3 figures, Deputy AG, in the
same
middle
picture,
is the
same picture used here.
The same picture.
Same picture.
Okay, let me go to the Daily Analyst. Which page is their story? It's the same picture here as well.
No, so fine. Is there a name attached?
Daily Analyst has no name of a reporter
on that particular story, not
yes,
about
yes,
others.
Yes. I continued on page 6. Where's page 6? Page 6 is here. Key admissions. Continue on page 7. Hey, that's plenty of key admissions. Okay, so it ends on page 6. So they have actually dedicated 3 pages, and there's no name. There's no writer, name of a writer on the story.
The publisher also doesn't have a writer.
So if you are an editor, if you are a serious journalist, if you are a newsroom manager, you understand this kind of a story. So you can...
And this one also is carried on 2 pages, or full pages.
Okay.
Take the story.
So Daily Analyst breaks it down on to 3 pages. Inside has 2 full, the center spread dedicates that to the story. So from where we sit as experienced journalists, we know we can understand. So we need to move away from, especially the AG, we need to move away from this perception or understanding or feeling or whatever it is that there is no need to engage the media. There's every need to engage the media, especially that you have a recognized judicial press corps, members of which are always in the courts following the case with you. There's nothing wrong with engaging the members of the judicial press corps, letting them understand some of the technicalities that come up in these cases, understand some of the nuances. If you think that there's going to be some apprehension from the other side that, oh, this is going to corrupt the media, then you can do it together. You have your... And I know that in the course of the election petition, some of those engagements were held because people wanted to understand or to make the media understand the reasons why they took some of the decisions. Some of the applications were filed. Some of the witnesses or the things were insisted upon in open court. I'm giving free advice that I should have been paid to give.
Don't we all sometimes? Don't we all sometimes?
So please, the learned Professor Dominic Ayene and the learned Dr. Sremsai, please engage the media, especially the Judicial Press Corps. Please engage them.
Right. I mentioned that he had responded to this in an interview. I'll bring excerpt of it subsequently, even as we continue to talk. There's a thin line between reportage and you understand the other part about it. So there's one person that's been arrested for murder of an Indian national at Kumasi. But before that,
business gone bad.
Ken Ofori-Atta's U.S. case has been adjourned to June. Ghana's former finance minister Kenneth Ofori-Atta is scheduled to appear before the Annandale Immigration Court in Virginia on June 15 for a virtual hearing as he seeks to regularize his stay in the United States. Presided over by immigration judge David A. Garde, the case centers on alleged visa overstay and Mr. Ofori-Atta's attempt to secure permanent residency. He is currently on a $65,000 dollar bail. I said cedis. They would have slapped me from the US. After spending 3 weeks in custody following his arrest by US Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents in Washington, D.C. Mr. Ofori-Atta will travel to the US in January of 2025 for medical treatment at the Mayo Clinic in Minnesota. Reportedly remained in the country after his visa expired on February 14, 2026. He has maintained his innocence in the immigration case. At the same time, he faces mounting legal pressure from Ghana, where he's been declared a fugitive from by the Office of the Special Prosecutor over alleged corruption and procurement breaches. So that is where we are at on Ken Ofori-Atta. This one didn't make quite the noise. I'm sure the power not staying on us caught a lot of attention, and so a lot of people didn't pay attention to that aspect. But most certainly is one that will be of interest to a lot of us in terms of the anti-corruption fight and all of that. So yeah, your thoughts quickly on that, and then maybe I'll bring details.
Please let me shift my thoughts to something that is more this one, because this kind of Ofori-Atta matter. I will not proceed on that. Let me take you to the front page of the Inside newspaper. There's a story, a headline I read about Nzima chiefs demanding restoration of Adamu's mining license. It's also a story that's been running. Says job losses will be threat to national security. Well, I would not even bring up the national security concern bit of it, but the fact that jobs will be lost is a consideration that we need to take a second look at. And this is led by the chief himself, Chief of Salma, Nana Kwame Bentum II, has appealed to President Mahama to restore the license of Adamu's Mining Resource Limited, maintaining that job losses as a result of revocation will be a threat to national security. The chief, who spoke in an interview yesterday, explained that Adamu's Resources CEO, Angela List, is being hounded because of a refusal to allow the indigents to enter her concession. The visibly angry Nana Salma explained further that no chief on Nzima land is happy about the revocation, and that any chief who is happy, continues on page 3 of the paper, is oblivious of the ramifications of such a decision. There's a quote: "The woman has done nothing wrong. She's a hard-working woman who is helping us. She employs over 1,000 people. So why take such a decision against her?" Nana Bentum fumed. Well, I'm reading a story. These are not my words. So I think that this is drawing attention to the happenings. You know, the other day I was saying that I really want to meet Madame Angela List. She has become my favorite person. She's always in the news. You know, one story or the other is always mentioning her name almost every day. But this particular one, because job losses have been mentioned, we may need to slow down and take a second look at it. I am not standing on the right or on the left. I am in between, saying, let us look again at what the concerns, the real concerns are. I am not agreeing or disagreeing with Nana Nom, or disagreeing with the revocation or agreeing with the revocation. I'm just saying that if we are preaching job creation, if we are bringing a 24-hour economy that should bridge the unemployment gap, if we are looking at a job system that would make sure that Mawina, Motala, and Dong have jobs to do, then the ones that are already there, we would be able, or we should be able to safeguard them. Let's look at what the real concerns are and deal with them for the sake of protecting the jobs.
Right, we'll get into sports, and Mutala is here. Quite a game we had yesterday. PSG, Bayern Munich, or for the persons who love to pronounce it, Munchen. Bayern Munchen.
Even your circle for who played the club says Bayern Munich, you are here saying Munch. Someone circle for who played his entire life there.
I'm saying,
of course, his own club Bayern Munich. You are calling it Munch.
Oh no, I'm just saying for those who like to overdo. Me, I don't like
Oversabi people.
Yes, me, I said Bayern Munich, and then I created the avenue for those who like to oversabi and said or overdo and said Munchen.
Munchen. Oh, okay.
That's all. Me, there I would say Munich. Munich is all I know. Bayern Munich, but it was. I missed the game, but boy,
I know you want to describe it as a crazy game.
It was exciting. I mean, for neutrals,
9 goals
could have been 10 easily.
For me, I predicted a lot of goals in this game, but I didn't see 9 goals coming.
Yeah,
yes,
9 goals, 5-4.
I didn't see it coming. I expected about 3-4 goals in this game.
This is not on penalty.
No, it's just open
regular
play.
Time.
Yes.
5 goals in the first half, 4 in the second half.
Yes. When you play in Europe or when it comes to the European competition, it still exists. I mean, Mawena, you've watched the European football for a long time, and with the pool of talent that both teams have, you expected something like this.
But then I look at my team and there's Garnacho, who can't even take on a man.
No, every team has that one black sheep, if I can describe it like that.
What wrong did I do to deserve to be watching Garnacho and Pedro Neto?
Well, Arsenal fans are also complaining you give them Madueke and he can't even take on the man. In the absence of Bukayo Saka, Madueke can't even do it. But it was an exciting game yesterday. You saw the quality on the pitch.
Yeah, it was outstanding.
Then you ask yourselves, how come people have so much quality in their team and your team is lacking that top quality? Paris Saint-Germain showed why they are current European champions, but it's still an open tie. 5-4, just 1 goal difference. It's still a very, very open tie. And I'm sure Bayern Munich would go into the second leg feeling very confident. You know, there wasn't any Vincent Kompany on the bench because he had been red carded. But the second leg at the Allianz Arena it will be fireworks.
I doubt it will make a difference, even though I want Bayern to make it to the final. I think they've been outstanding. Also because I think PSG, the way they get the French Footballing Federation to reschedule their games, I mean, I don't know. It doesn't come off quite.
If PSG ends up winning big, it's the FA gets the accolades. It's French football that will be talked about. So they do everything within their power to ensure PSG do not have tight schedules. And it's going to be interesting. People are saying that we watched the best 2 teams yesterday. Today we are going to watch the legends.
Terrorism will be at play today.
Arsenal, Atletico Madrid. But there's something interesting about this Atletico team. You know, it's a completely different team from what we used to know some time back, where they could defend for their lives for 90 minutes. This Atletico team likes to attack. I mean, especially with Julian Alvarez in the ranks, they like to bump forward a lot. So I'm sure it's going to be an open game. But Arsenal these days do not score enough goals. So I'm not sure we are going to have 9 goals today. I doubt we'll see 9 goals in today's game. Even if we see 5, I'll be surprised. Even if we see 5 goals in today's game.
Oh, Openyi,
I'll be surprised.
We are not even looking forward to 2.
Because it's going to be an extremely
if we
tight
get a goal today, there will be praises in the heavens.
I wanted
the
to ask
will sing
6-2 something before I go on with the sports. 6-2. We have Carlos Queiroz in place. You advocated for the removal.
Proudly.
Yes, of Otto Addo. What are your expectations of Carlos Queiroz, and what would you deem as success with his time at the Black Stars? That 4 months that he's going to be in charge, what would you term as success?
I believe we have the quality in terms of the individual players, at least from what I saw under Otto Addo. I believe we have the capacity and we have what it takes to at least get to where we were in 2016. I believe so. Wow. And that is what I expect of
2016?
2006.
Okay. And I want to ask both of you something. Yesterday, a subject came up. The sports minister was at another media house. And he confirmed that Carlos Queiroz will be staying at a hotel, which the GFA are paying. Now, the government some time back
provided
provided
accommodation.
accommodation for the Black Stars head coach. It's around
Roman
Ridge.
Ridge.
Now that
Ridge.
facility has
still
been turned
available?
into, yes, but it has been turned into a technical directorate for the GFA.
See,
And the GFA are now housing the coach. No, I want to see if it qualifies. It qualifies to be causing financial loss to the state. The minister is saying since the GFA has not come back to the ministry to ask for money to accommodate the Black Stars coach, he doesn't have any problem. Once the Black Stars coach, whether he sleeps at Kempinski and they are paying $500 a night, that is for the GFA. It's from their internally generated funds. Does it qualify that a state property has been converted into such an office?
It's not right. I mean, my voice was part of the voices that pushed. Which coach was it? Was always in the hotel.
It was not
Kwesi Appiah. Milovan was always in this one just here. Where is it? The one.
Yeah.
Fiesta
But if it's
Royale?
not the government
No.
paying, then I don't see any cause for alarm.
Who is paying?
The GFA is paying.
Where is the
Are we
GFA
sure?
getting the money from?
The
Is
minister
the
is
GFA
saying they are paying from their internally
How
generated
do they
funds.
generate that fund?
we will go around in circles and come back.
We'll
to
still come back
find
to
out
you
that
and I.
It is taxpayers' money which was used to pay for that.
We'll
Well-
go round and round and round and come back to you and I. We are the ones financing that.
Okay. So it's not proving.
In any case, that amount of money, the man will be staying here for 4 months.
Yeah.
He's here for at least for 4 months.
Yeah. But he's not going
The-
to stay in Ghana, king for 4 months. He will be traveling in and out. But that is an aside.
Okay. But he's here for 4 months.
Yes.
Let's say out of the 4 months, he's physically present
for
in
2
Ghana
months.
for 2 months. A day is $500, let's assume. Multiply $500 by 60 days. That's
It's
how
not
much.
the government paying.
It's not about who is paying. What else could that money have been used to do for sports?
That is the headache of the GFA.
No, it
is
is
not
not.
the headache of you and I.
You and I should be interested in the prudent management of the GFA because it is that prudent management that translates into efficiency or mismanagement that translates into abuses of
Okay,
resources.
so let me also play the devil's advocate for GFA. Now they need a facility for their technical directorate. The coach doesn't stay here permanently. So why not convert that facility that you'd have been? So if the coach is away, the facility
Did the-
would be
did the
the
GFA
facility
just
would be
realize?
empty. The facility would be empty. So why not convert it into a technical directorate?
Is there a point at which we will not have a coach in this country?
We will
We will
have,
always have a coach.
yeah. But he will always not be here.
It doesn't matter. He will not always be present because he's out there scouting or doing other things for the GFA.
Yeah.
But if the coach gets back in, straight from the airport, he knows that there's an apartment he's going
He
to.
knows that there is a hotel that he's going to.
Right. Let's do sports. And then
It's sports.
We are
What we are
losing
doing
money. I don't know why he keeps saying that. And this is part of
let's-
sports.
let's do
It's sports.
We are doing sports.
We are doing sports. Let's now do some sports here on 3FM Sunrise. My name is Mutala Yakubu. Coming up this morning, former Black Stars winger Albert Adoma has been speaking about the chances of the team going into the 2026 World Cup. And also, Asante Kotoko new interim boss Hamza Obin has spoken for the first time. And in the UEFA Champions League, it was an avalanche of goals at the Parc des Princes as Paris Saint-Germain defeated Bayern Munich. Let's settle for the details and start off with some update from the Black Stars camp, where Daniel Gaspar has been appointed as the goalkeepers trainer for Ghana national team ahead of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. The experienced Portuguese goalkeeping specialist joined the Black Stars technical team under newly appointed head coach Carlos Queiroz, extending a professional relationship between the two that spans more than 3 decades. Gaspar and Queiroz have worked together in various capacities since 1992, forming one of the most enduring coaching partnership in international football. Their collaboration has taken the team across a club and a national team assignment over the years. A highly respected figure in goalkeeping development, Gaspar coaching career includes multiple spells with Portuguese national team set up in the early 90s and again between 2009 and 2010, and he worked with several youth sides as well. Still on the Black Stars, former player Albert Adoma has weighed in on the ongoing debate surrounding the inclusion of dual national players in the national team. Having represented Ghana at several major tournaments, he believes that any player who meets the required standard and is committed to the team deserves an opportunity to play for the Black Stars.
I mean, for me, it's not difficult. If the player is available and he wants to come, it shouldn't be a problem. I understand maybe, yes, they haven't played qualifiers and they're coming straight to the World Cup, then that's a different topic. But if they're Ghanaian, you have to welcome them, and that's how I see this topic, because you want your best players to be there. But I understand the frustration of people, especially when you're a player, and then someone just comes in and take your players, then you will be devastated. I understand that from a player's point of view, but if the technical staff members think, look, these are the players that maybe might get us to the semi-finals or final, then they should be welcome. Every player that's Ghanaian, it doesn't matter if you play in Europe or wherever you play, if you're good enough and they think that you are the best player for that team, they should be called up on. Unless, obviously, like I said, that haven't been part of their qualifying, then that's a different subject. So that's my take on it. Everyone should be welcome.
Former Black Stars winger Albert Adoma there talking about the issue about dual nationals in the team. In the Ghana Premier League, interim head coach of Asante Kotoko Hamza Obin says he's keen on making an impact in the last few games of the 2025-26 season, but insists he cannot do it alone. He believes the team can only win the rest of their matches in the Ghana Premier League if the players work together. Speaking ahead of Asante Kotoko's next fixture against Dreams FC, Obin stressed on his readiness to give everything in the short period that he has been put in charge of the team.
It's not a good image for the club, and as I said earlier, we are trying to put everything together and make sure we build in each department so that everything will be okay for us. We try to build one team, and then it will be a collective play from the teams where we will try and manage in getting our results. Well, I think we are looking at the phases of play during our training session. When I talk of the phase of play, I'm talking about communication. The communication in the game means one language that we are going to understand, the tactics that we are going to deploy, and also deciding, that is looking in the game inside. They are trying to take everything that we are doing gradually, and also the execution of the decision that we are doing through, they are picking it up. That is the technique that we are working on, and then football, fitness training, to everything is moving on smoothly. So we are trying to build everything together and then try to make a collective team and then try to achieve the results.
Interim manager of Asante Kotoko, Hamza Obain there. We'll come back to football, but let's do a bit of athletics, where the Minister for Sports and Recreation, Kofi Adams, has announced Hoshi International as sponsors and partners for the Africa Athletics Championship, reinforcing support for the successful hosting of the event. The partnership also extends to collaborate with Ghana Athletics. The country manager of Hoshi International says the company's sponsorship and partnership for the Africa Athletics Championship is aimed at supporting athletes' performance and promoting sports development in Ghana.
In this part of the world, focus has been around football, so it's just safe to do something different. And then there's athletics, so we took the opportunity and then we ran with it. So we are looking for, as a brand, we are looking for visibility and to make sales, but aside that, we are looking to grow talent, support the sports industry and even athletes and the nation as a whole.
Meanwhile, President of Ghana Athletics, that is Bao Fuseni, says the sponsorship and partnership with Hoshi International is a major boost for the Africa Athletics Championship, highlighting its importance in ensuring a successful event and improving conditions for athletes. He added that the support will significantly strengthen the federation and contribute to the long-term development of athletics in the country.
It's very big. This is, so far as I know, this is the first time we having such a big sponsor coming for athletics events at this magnitude. It's very significant, and it clearly shows that with Ghana Athletics, any company can get its mileage that it deserves. What Hoshin has done, I believe that it's going to open more gates or more windows, more opportunities for corporate Ghana to come on board to support Ghana Athletics. It's a very big for us. It is the first time we're getting such a public announcement for such a gold sponsor. Normally, we never get sponsorship, but they are a bit and pieces. But this one comes one big sponsor that we go beyond the African Championship. For me, that is the most critical thing. That they are not coming just to support only the African Championship.
Bafusini, they're talking about the Athletics Championship that would come off soon. Let's now cross borders and go to Europe, where the semi-finals of the UEFA Champions League delivered a thrilling night in Paris as Paris Saint-Germain edged Bayern Munich 5-4 in a pulsating encounter, leaving the tie finally poised ahead of next week's second leg in Munich. General Manager of MG Sports Michael Otieje breaks down the key moments from the night-goal thriller.
Look, this was some game. This was 90 minutes well spent. The first leg of a semi-final in the Champions League, and in the end, 9 goals. It was an absolute blitz, but it was also the quality of goals. Right from the moment when Bayern went up in front through Harry Kane from the penalty spot, PSG equalized through Kvaratskhelia, and then PSG went ahead through Neves. Then Bayern came 2-2 on terms with that cracking goal from Michael Olise. PSG thought they had run away with it at the start of the second half. They went on a 5-2 lead, scored some really good goals, including another from Kvaratskhelia to take his goal tally to 2 on the night. But Bayern came storming back in brilliant fashion. They did. And I think the best of the goals has to be Luis Diaz's goal. The way he took it, the way he tracked back and all that, it kind of made up for some of the frustrating patches of Luis Diaz's play. The thing with Luis Diaz is he misses so many opportunities, then he scores a cracking goal. So he prepares up the cracks. And that can be summed up by the way Bayern played in the first half. In the end, an absolutely beautiful game of football that sets up the return leg in the best possible way. This was really good football.
Really good football. That is what the general manager for sports at MG, Michael Otieje, is saying. So we are looking forward to that second leg. But attention now shifts to Spain, where tonight it is Arsenal who travel to face Atletico Madrid at the Wanda Metropolitano. And ahead of the game, Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta senses a big opportunity.
After that win, a massive win for us against Newcastle, you could sense it straight away, the energy, the confidence coming into this game. It's a massive privilege to be here again 2 years in a row in the semi-final of the Champions League, representing our club, and yeah, what an opportunity. We're gonna grab it with both hands. You're gonna see a team that wants to be dominant, that wants to win it, and that wants to start to decide the tie tomorrow.
Big one tonight, 7 p.m. is the time for this game. Before we go, let's do some tennis where world number one, Yannick Sinner, as brilliant form continued as he reached the quarterfinals of the Madrid Open with a single straight set win over Britain's Cameron Norrie. Now bidding for his fourth ATP Masters 1000 title in a row, Sinner beat Norrie 6-2, 7-5 in less than 90 minutes to extend his winning streak to 20 matches. After securing the Indian Wells, Miami Open and Monte Carlo title, Sinner's last 16 win means the matches in the tournament is the best that he's had in a few times. Now, having only reached the quarterfinal once before 2024, the 24-year-old will now face a Czech Vit Kopriva or 19-year-old Madrid born, that is Rafa Joda, in the next round. Let's see what happens with that. That's all we have by way of sports here on 3FM Sunrise. My name is Mutalai Akubu. Don't go nowhere. The show continues after this.